Any work, any business, any venture, anything that is done without passion, it will result to boredom. And everything you do communicates energy. Everything you do communicates value. And value does not rest until it returns back to its source. So, as I'm creating value for you now, you are getting enriched, you are learning something. It's not going to end with you. It's also going to come back to me. So if I create without excitement and passion, I won't be able to extend the requisite value, and it will boomerang again. Now you're getting the skill. Even with the skill, if you do your work without passion, thinking that nobody is seeing me, your client will be able to see, because everything has energy, and energy is spiritual. So when the client sees it, they know that you didn't put in the requisite amount of passion and energy into the work. So what it will require is that they will decline. And that's not what you want. You have said that success to you will mean your client accepts your work and they pay you for it. And the truth of the matter is, value always gets compensated. The law of compensation states that when you dispense value, you will be rewarded. So now I'm going to give you 5 keys that will help you, or rather 6 keys that will help you in attaining your level of success as not just a videographer now, a filmmaker. It's the same key in life, in business, in marriage, in everything you do. These 6 keys, especially in business. The first is clarity. What your goal is will determine the kind of people that comes around you. All right. So now, success is simply the progressive realization of a worthy goal. That's the best definition I can find on success. See, now you have set a goal. If I'm able to create content, if I'm able to reach out to clients, I'm able to make money with this, I can say I'm successful. Okay, somebody else may say, if I'm able to create videos that can help me improve my social media handle, as a vlogger or whatever. Okay, so success, like I said now, is relative, depending on the goal you set for yourself. As long as you progressively are able to attain that goal, we can say that you are successful. Information does not bring knowledge. You have never heard that before. Information does not bring knowledge. Information brings awareness. It is practice that brings knowledge. And really, practice does not bring knowledge per se. Practice brings experience. It's experience that becomes knowledge. So no matter the number of volumes of training you get, that's why you find out you have a lot of trained people in school who still comes out to do nothing with what they learned. Why? Because the proof that you know something is when you do it. The proof that you know something is when what you are doing is working and producing results. Okay, so we're going to guide you progressively so that at the end of the day, every step of the way, you see that what you are learning is producing results. I'm trying to organize for you now so that you understand what success to us will mean on this. Progressively, you are attaining the goal of creating content that will get your client's attention, that will help you to make more money. And as long as we are able to do that, everybody's smiling. 2 of us, you're getting better at it. So now I'm going to give you 5 keys that will help you, or rather 6 keys that will help you in attaining your level of success as not just a videographer now, a filmmaker. Is the same key in life, in business, in marriage, in everything you do. These 6 keys, especially in business. The first is clarity. You have to be clear about what you want. In simple terms, you have to be clear about what you want. If you're not clear about a goal, you would not know when you attain it. Are we getting it? You have to be clear about what you want. What do I really want from this? What is my outcome? What is my set objective? What is my goal? Of course, we have mentioned now that success is progressively attaining a worthy goal. So what is your goal? You have to be clear about it. So what you are going to do now is write out in specific terms, 1 or 2 sentences, what is my goal for this 15 days training? It's part of your assignment now, classwork. Write it down. What is my goal? The number one reason why you have people fail or succeed is just based on this 4-letter word, goal. Those who set goals, 93% of the time are able to achieve it, because they will constantly think on these goals, and what you think about, you become. If you do not have goals, you are living randomly. You are living your life like a sheep without a shepherd. You are like that big ship now, SHIP, that begins a sail and does not have a target. You are like the bullet that is shot without a target. Anything you hit becomes okay. Okay? If you are on a journey to nowhere, you certainly will get there, true of us. But if you are on a journey to somewhere, you navigate your path. There are people you go with. There are routes you follow. Why? Because you have a precise target. So if you're going to fail on this or succeed on this, it's going to be based on what you have just written down now. Because your goal also now will help you to charge yourself. Your goal now will lead you to the second point now I want to give, which is passion. If you have a goal and the goal is big enough, the goal will be able to energize you, charge you, and keep you on your toes, and you become passionate about it. When you have passion, you find out that you are able to wake up in the morning and you feel energy rushing through your being because you have something you want to attack. You find people who sleep all day. There is no passion in their life, no juice in their life, no excitement in their life. How many of course, we have more females here now, and I'm very sure all of you females, one time in your life, you are adults now. Okay, even the ones that, okay, this baby is even out now. How did you feel when you had your first boyfriend? You know, when that guy first came, Naomi, when that guy, first came and told you he loved you, and by seeing him, women, you have to pretend a lot. You will see a guy, you like him, you pretend as if this guy, I like him, and the guy now had guts enough to come to you and tell you he likes you, he wants to date you. How did you feel? Great, right? Excitement. Every morning you think about him. You want to go to bed. If you have not sent him a text message, you feel like if he has not if you send him a message and 60 seconds becomes like 2 days if he has not responded. Why is he not sending now? Why? Because you're passionate about something. Someone you're not passionate about, 5 years will pass, you won't remember that you've not spoken with him. Okay, so passion. You must be passionate about this. And besides, one of the things that is crazy about us, filmmakers and cinematographers, videographers, is that we are very passionate about the work. Sometimes you find out that a lot of people find it difficult to do videography because they think it's too time consuming. They don't understand how come we can sit down, we are creating 1 minute commercial, and we are there for 14 hours. One of the reasons why painters or artists, why they love their work so much, he likened it to a woman giving birth. The process of giving birth to a child is what causes, that's why it seems to be like the woman loves the child more than the man. Why? Because the time of conception, 9 months of conception, always watching over that baby, thinking about the baby, rolling with the baby, and bringing the baby to life. One of the challenges we artists have, painters, artists generally, we find it difficult to sell our works. How many of you have a brother or sister or friend who's an artist? Sometimes you want to, even with all the money they want to pay you, there's this emotional attachment to the work. You're feeling it. Why? Because it took time for you to create it. You gave a part of your life to the work. You understand what I'm saying? So if you lack passion for video creation, I bet you you are still going to waste your time on this. You have to fall in love with it. The art and the craft of creating videos, you must love it. Because passion is infectious, true of us. When you are passionate about something, it will speak to the next person. It will tell in your video. It will tell in your communication. For example, now, does it seem like I'm talking passionately? Yes. If I am not, you will soon get bored. So any work, any business, any venture, anything that is done without passion, it will result to boredom. And everything you do communicates energy. Everything you do communicates value. And value does not rest until it returns back to its source. So, as I'm creating value for you now, you are getting enriched, you are learning something. It's not going to end with you. It's also going to come back to me. So, if I create without excitement and passion, I won't be able to extend the requisite value, and it will boomerang again. And that will mean that my clients or you will not accept what I give. So whatever video, the reason why your videos don't do much or can't do anything, one, of course, you didn't have the skill. Okay, now you're getting the skill. Even with the skill, if you do your work without passion, thinking that nobody is seeing me, your client will be able to see, because everything has energy, and energy is spiritual. So when the client sees it, they know that you didn't put in the requisite amount of passion and energy into the work. So what it will require is that they will decline. And that's not what you want. You have said that success to you will mean your client accepts your work and they pay you for it. And the truth of the matter is, value always gets compensated. The law of compensation states that when you dispense value, you will be rewarded. I hope I'm not wasting your time. I'm giving you something. I'm trying to lay a good foundation for you so that you understand these are the basic mindset you require, the key you require to be successful in this. One, you have to have a clear goal, which you are already set for yourself. Two, you have to be passionate about your work. Number three, you have to learn to take massive actions, whether or not it's a perfect one or imperfect. Learn to take action. Don't wait to be perfect before you start creating. Nobody attains perfection. Perfection is an illusion. Don't deceive yourself. Nobody ever gets perfect. In fact, that thing we were told, practice makes perfect, they deceived you. Practice does not make perfect. Practice makes progress. So don't delude yourself by waiting till you get perfect. He that observes the wind, what happens? He never sows. You know that proverb, there is always a lion outside. Because of that, he does not want to go to work. He is always thinking there's a lion. Whereas other people are going out against the lion and defeating the lion and getting results. So learn to take massive actions, whether perfectly or imperfectly. And like we mentioned, there is no perfect action. Take action. Learn to take action. And that also spills to assignments. Don't lag. In fact, we also know if we give you assignments and you don't do them, it shows that you don't have passion. So you should be able to quickly attend to everything you're given. Why? Because, like we mentioned now, the more you work, the better you get. We said information does not bring knowledge. Is that not what we said? Yes. Information does not bring knowledge. So as we pass information to you, you start getting your hands dirty. You start walking. And as you're walking, you are gaining momentum, you are gaining experience. It is the application of your experience now that becomes knowledge. Are you aware that also that knowledge is relative? We can all have the same information, but we'll have different knowledge based on how we applied the information. Yes. It is knowledge is relative. Yes. 1 + 1 can be 2 theoretically, but practically 1 + 1 is never 2. Because the way I apply my 1 + 1, the result I get, the information, the mindset that I get in the application of my 1 + 1 becomes my knowledge. That's why you also find out that 2 sisters, 2 brothers growing up from the same family, maybe their father was a drug addict, an alcoholic, a woman beater, one of them becomes exactly like the father. The other one becomes very successful. They both saw the same environment. They both grew up, saw the same thing, but they interpreted it differently. The same information, different interpretation, different results. Okay, so the interpretation of the information we're giving you and how you apply it to your clarity of goals and definiteness of purpose, it's what makes you the experienced person that clients want to deal with. Okay, so when your job is good, clients will reach out to you and they'll get to you. So we have mentioned 3 now, right? What's number 1? Clarity. Number 2, passion. Number 3, learn to take action. Number 4 now, focus. 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 You must be focused. Like I mentioned now, what we are sharing with you now also will help you in every area of your life, in marriage, in business, in anything. Focus. You can't talk about focus without talking about laser. How many of you know what the laser beam is? Laser, yes. Laser is so sharp, it can be used for drilling. It's just light. Okay? It can be used for drilling. It can be used for surgical operation. In fact, when they want to barricade, how many of you have seen movies where either banks or they have some very the next now you banks, or they want to protect something very important in strong rooms. You see those lights that they are laser beam. If it touches you, it will cut you once. A laser is a coherent and focused beam of photons, a device that generates an intense beam of coherent monochromatic light. And I like to look at this because monochrome, we have 2 words here. Mono means one, chrome means color. So laser is always one light, most times red. Okay, so an intense beam of coherent monochromatic light or other electromagnetic radiation by stimulated emission of photons from excited atoms, passionate atoms. So if you lack passion, you can't be focused. So a laser beam is passionate in the organization of his photons. Why? Because of the result he wants to achieve. A laser is happy to cut. His work is clear about its outcome. Anything I touch, I finish them. So you can see that even with laser now, the things we have enumerated now already are showing up. 1, a laser is clear about its goals. A laser is not to disseminate energy. A laser is focused to cutting. A laser is passionate, is excited, is coherent. It says by stimulated emission of protons from excited atoms or molecules. Lasers are used in drilling and cutting, alignment and guidance, and surgery. The optical properties are exploited in holography, reading barcodes, and recording and playing compact disc. You must be focused on this. I have my training in Christ Embassy. How many of you are members of Christ Embassy here? Yes. As a leader in school then, one of the scriptures that we were taught is Isaiah 31:4. I love it. It helps my focus. The illustration is given us there. It says a young lion. It says when a young lion is focused on its prey, maybe an ant. Have you ever seen a lion wanting to hunt? Yes. When the lion is set for a target, he is watching the prey. It says even the multitude of hunters with their shouts cannot stop or deter him. His eyes are on the prey. Until he's eating the flesh of that prey, he's not looking at anything else. Even with all, the hunters and the multitude of hunters, ordinarily they are coming to kill it, right? The shout and the noise of the hunter, he knows that they are coming for him. But bros, my eyes are on my prey. Una dey waste una time. Until I'm eating this flesh, I'm not looking at you. In other words, until you get the results while you came here, until you can now create videos, that people can pay you for. In this 21st century, nobody engages you out of sympathy. Even your brother, your mother, your sister will not. Why? Because money has to generate value. Nobody dashes money. Money only answers to value. So if your work cannot disseminate value, then you are wasting your time. Then number 5, neuropersuasion. What is neuropersuasion? Neuropersuasion has to do with the use of words, how you use your words to persuade people neurologically. We are emotional beings, right? Yes. People do not engage you based on logic. There was a time that logic was the platform for engagement. But civilization has passed that position where you doling out information, you just think that's why people who are very scholarly in school now, they are failing. They are losing out. With your first class, you are still losing out. Why? Because you cannot engage people now based on numbers and figures. You can't engage people now. You can't sell now. You can't get people's attention by being smart, brilliant. You are just standing, talking, quoting physics, quoting. No, it's not working anymore. Because people are no longer moved by logic. People are moved by what? Emotion. The side of our brain that deals with decision making is our emotional brain, not our logical brain. Yes, you may be able to bamboozle people with information, but you can't get them to take decisions by logic. It has to be by emotion. And when you sway people emotionally, they now use logic to kind of balance the decision they make. Have you ever gone out to buy something that you didn't plan to buy? You went somewhere, you had money, you didn't plan that money for that thing. You went there, somebody talked to you and you bought that thing. And you felt like, why did I buy it? And someone said, you spent all the money to buy that thing. Then you now use your logic to start defending why you bought it, even though you yourself know that you should not have bought it. So people can make decisions out of emotion and use logic to balance it. But it never happens that people make decisions out of logic and use emotion to balance it. So as a business person, as somebody who's going to be creating content, even your content that are visually appealing should be able to use colors, use fonts, text to stimulate people's brain so that they emotionally fall in love with your work. And we're not talking about visual appealing now. We're talking about being able to sell. What I'm actually talking about now when I'm talking about neural persuasion is being able to sell, being able to communicate so that people will buy your work. People will accept your offer. Am I making sense? Yes. You have no business being in business if you do not know how to make sales. Write that down. Very important. You have no business being in business if you do not know how to make sales. And this is the bane of every business person today. If you find anybody who is doing well in business, the basic skill he knows. Business does not involve big office. What you need to have a successful business is not having a big office. It's not having staff. It's not having all the cars. As beautiful as they are, the most important department in every business structure should be the sales department. And that is the area where many businesses neglect. If you want to do well in your business, you must learn the skill of how to persuade people, not cajole them, not being salesy, but talking to people in a way and manner that emotionally you buy them, they accept what you are saying, they start seeing themselves in the image of what you're talking about. They start seeing themselves as part of the business you are showing to them. So now they are not the one asking you, how can we take it further? Artists know how to create, they don't know how to sell because nobody taught us how to sell. It's one of the things they didn't teach us in school. So you also went to school, they taught you how to do business, but they didn't tell you how to sell business. So you keep creating and eating what you have created. You eat your food yourself. You craft your craft. But in your engagement with people, they fall in love with the work before they even, so that at the end of the day, they are the one asking how far. Can you? You have to learn it. It's part of what we're going to teach you. Then the last one is continuous learning. Never-ending learning. Being in state of continuous learning. You see, the problem with us in Africa is that they trained us to go to school. And as soon as you graduate and write name on your shirt, I don't know where they got that traditional ceremony from. You write name. Hey, they pour water on you, they pour palm wine on you, and that's the end of learning. 12 years down the line, you have not read a chapter of a book. And you want to go into a market, an oversaturated market, where you have people with boiling brains, people who are forever sharpening their saw. Stephen Covey's 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. You read that book? The number 7 habit is sharpening your saw. The Bible talks about that if you have to cut a tree with a blunt saw or cutlass, what does it say happen to you? It says you will have blisters. You will waste time and you will not be able to cut it. Have you ever tried to cut something with a blunt cutlass? Your palm will blister, yet you will not be able to. But when you take out time, if you have 10 hours to create a painting, spend 7 hours thinking about it, meditating on it, working it in your mind. Because if you create that picture in your mind, it will be very easy to put it on canvas. But what we do is that we have a job to do. Oh yeah, now, blah, blah, blah. We start working, only to discover that we are confused and we are stuck. You must create a mental image of what you want to create in your mind. It's called imagination. Albert Einstein says imagination is more important than knowledge. But what we are rushing after, what society trained us, hypnotized us to do, is to go after knowledge. And knowledge never helps anybody. What helps you is imagery. What helps you is imagination. What helps you is ability to, create in your mind. The Bible talks about God creating the heavens and the earth. It talked about 2 creation there in Genesis. It talked about bara. It talked about asa. It talked about creating from inexistent material. It talked about creating from existent material. When God created man, he didn't form man. He created man. He thought about man. He imagined man. When it says God created man, the man was not physically seen. The man was in him. It took time to imagine how man would be. A complex being like man does not require quick creation. You are too complex for a quick creation. He imagined you. He thought about you. He created you. Then he now formed you from the dust of the earth before he breathed into man. So in the process of learning, you're creating. So you must be able to sharpen your saw, sharpen your mind. A lot of us have blunt minds. Our minds are too blunt. Social media has turned your mind to a mundane entity. Your mind is stale. Your mind is dark and blunt. You spend all your days viewing people's contents, consuming people's products, never creating. If we simply ask you now, when last did you read a book? I'll be shocked. You will soon now know that you have no competition with the people the people you want to compete with are forever studying courses, paying money to attend lectures, doing a lot of things, sharpening their skills. And you want to, because you are a child of God. The problem we have is that we think, when we talk about it, say, God forbid. God forbid. The people you want to contend with, they are not doing God forbid. They are working on themselves. I hope you get the point I'm trying to make now. That we do not take our learning seriously. We just hope that it will happen. Success is never a product of accident. Neither is failure. People do not fail by accident. People do not succeed by accident. People fail tactically and planfully. People plan to fail. If you fail to plan, you are planning to fail. So success is something that you will take time to plan. And one of the ways you get successful in this and the other thing is continuous learning. And the way you do that is, again, to surround yourself with mentors.